Which is better for the HF8 Pro? Its native software or SimHub using real telemetry? In this video, we're going to break that down and take a deep dive into how haptic feedback actually works. Let's go. Okay, before we get started here, I want to be very clear about this. I am not dismissing the HF8 software at all. Out of the box, I loved it. It's well-tuned, reliable, and delivers solid feedback with minimal setup. See, the difference with SimHub, it's not about strength, it's about control. SimHub lets you decide exactly where feedback occurs, where it's localized, and which telemetry event is driving it. That level of control is what transforms the HF8 from a good vibration system into a precise driver feedback tool. Before we jump in, if this kind of breakdown helps you understand your gear better, hit like and subscribe. In this section, I'm going to walk you through how each effect in the HF8 software maps to SimHub, and explain what those effects are actually representing from a telemetry and haptic standpoint. I'm also going to point out where the HF8 software combines effects and where SimHub separates them, because that difference matters when you're trying to dial in realism. Everything here is based on how the software behaves and how SimHub labels these effects, not opinion. First, we're going to start off with gear shift. In the HF8 software, gear shift is pretty simple. You have an on and off button and an overall intensity slider just for the gear shift effects. That gear shift effect maps directly to the gear shift effects in SimHub. Functionality, both are triggered by a gear change event. The difference in customization, in SimHub, you can adjust pressure or intensity scaling, detection behavior, minimum and maximum RPMS conditions, and percentage-based thresholds. So while HF8 gives you a basic gear change vibration, SimHub gives you control over when it triggers and how strong it feels. The brake effect in HF8 software maps to deceleration G-force in SimHub. In HF8, braking feedback can feel like it includes some ABS-style vibration because the software does not fully separate braking force from wheel lock behavior. In SimHub, deceleration G-force and ABS are separate effects. That separation matters because deceleration represents braking load while ABS represents rapid wheel lock modulation. SimHub allows you to tune them independently while HF8 blends them together. The rev limiter in HF8 software is tied to high RPM thresholds. When engine RPM reaches the upper range and the RPM indicator turns red, the vibration engages. You can replicate this behavior in SimHub using RPM-based effects. The acceleration effect in HF8 maps to the acceleration G-force in SimHub. This represents forward acceleration, also referred to as surge. In a real vehicle, when you apply heavy throttle, your body presses back into the seat. That's the sensation this effect is simulating. On a motion rig, this comes from physical movement, where haptics is simulated through vibration. Now let's talk about speed effects. Speed in the HF8 software maps directly to speed-based vibration. SimHub also provides speed effects with curve adjustment available. Speed effects should be used carefully. Running multiple speed-based effects at once can reduce clarity. HF8 speed control is simple. SimHub offers more flexibility, but it requires restraint. Engine RPM and rev limiter are not the same. Rev limiter is a high RPM threshold warning. Engine RPM is continuous vibration as RPM rises. In HF8, engine RPM vibration begins as soon as the RPM gauge starts moving. In SimHub, this behavior is shaped using the RPM response filter curve, allowing you to control when vibration starts, how strong it becomes, and how smoothly it ramps up. But the response filter is critical. By default, SimHub set this fairly low. At those values, the effect can trigger too early or feel weak. I personally keep my response filter starting around 85%. So the vibration only engages when the RPM is actually high. I literally tested this and made sure when I mashed the pedal, the RPM hit the red, and I adjusted my settings according to that. Suspension and roll feel is one of the strongest part of the HF8. This is where you feel curbs, rumble strips, and roll surface changes. In SimHub, HF8 suspension behavior maps to road-related effects, not road effects. There's a difference. The correct SimHub effects are road impacts, road rumble, and road vibration, and we will cover those. Road impacts represent sharp hits such as curbs, rumble strips, and sudden suspension compression. This is the cleanest road effect and the best starting point. Road rumble. Road rumble represents sustained curb contact, rough asphalt, and extended surface texture. This effect should be kept at a lower intensity. Now for road vibrations. Roll vibrations represent fine roll textures, grass, and wet and low grip surfaces. If too strong, it turns into constant noise, and we don't want noise. Rather than stacking all road effects, choose one primary road effect, tune intensity carefully, and add another only if it provides unique information. This goal is information, not vibration. So basically, you would never run all of these at once. That's the full breakdown of how HF8 effects map to SimHub. I'll be doing a full deep dive on SimHub effects in a follow-up video. How I set up my profile and why less vibration usually feel more realistic. But for now, we're just going over the basics. If this kind of breakdown helps you understand your gear better, hit like and subscribe.